Hello again, guys and girls, the Gears of War community. Welcome back to another Gears of War Judgment gameplay commentary. So, I just want to quickly reiterate this. I know I've told you this tons of times, but I want to make sure everybody knows this. The reason I haven't been uploading that much lately is because my team is scrimming for EGL 9, which, by the way, is from Friday to Sunday this weekend. So, go and check that out. It will be on either the EGL GAL or the official EGL stream on Twitch, but yeah, go check that out this weekend. So yeah, I've been scrimming quite a lot this week, and the only reason I've actually been able to get this commentary out is because the past 2 days we haven't been scrimming at all because one or two of our players have had personal problems outside of the gaming world, so it's been a little bit difficult. But other than that, that's all I really wanted to say for the pre-commentary messages. So going into the commentary, I wanted to talk about Melee, and the reason I want to talk about Melee is because it's a major problem right now. I hope a week from now it won't be a problem, but in case it isn't, I just wanted to make this commentary to inform all the people who either haven't played the game, don't understand why it's a problem, or trying to refute that it's a problem, just why it is a problem and what we can do to fix it. So, in my mind, there's two major things which make Melee a problem in this game, or two major kind of areas which make it a problem. There is the Gnasher shotgun and the Melee itself. So the Gnasher, going into this, is the major weapon that is either being used while meleeing or being countered while meleeing. So for me, the Gnasher shotgun is a lot weaker in Gears of War. Well, not for me, it just is in general. It's a lot weaker in Gears of War Judgment than it is in Gears of War 3, and it forces players to get into a lot closer range. And the reasoning behind that is just because every other weapon is weaker and they just want to get people closer. And it makes it a lot more skillful to use. But with that said, it also allows melee a lot more, because when you come into melee range and you're using a much weaker weapon that's a lot harder to get a one bomb, and you have the option of two-piecing someone, it's just a hell of a lot easier right now to just go in there, throw a melee down, hit that, and kill someone by two-piecing them. It's just, that is the factor behind it. It's just like, it's a lot easier to go into a fight with a Gnasher shotgun, realizing that it's a lot weaker, and the vast majority of the time you're going to be killing someone in 3 or 4 shots. To take that time you would be using to do 3 or 4 shots and ensure your victory in that fight 90% of the time by throwing a melee down and blowing him away in one shot. So that's just like, that's the major issue I have with the Gnasher, is that its power is a little bit enabling for the two-piece. Now, that is essentially not actually a problem with the Gnasher, it's a problem with the melee itself. But that is the major way that the melee is used. So going into the melee itself, well, what is the problem with the melee itself? Well, there's 3 major factors, 2 of them a little bit more than the other. So there is the range, the damage, and the speed. The damage doesn't matter that much. I mean, in previous games, like, I think, especially in Gears of War 3, the damage was a lot lower than it is in Gears of War Judgment. I think in Gears of War 3 it was like 40%, now it is 50%, so I'm not absolutely certain on that, by the way, so you might have to check that out. But I know, especially for some weapons, it's lower than 50%. But the damage doesn't really affect me that much, because 90% of the time when someone is throwing a melee, they're going to shoot after it, not go for another melee. Even though the next melee, if you're using a 50% damage melee weapon, then you do still have a very viable option of throwing a second melee down to kill someone with it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know why people don't do that. I think they're just used to the two-piece from Gears of War 1 and 2. But, yeah, so the other 2 problems, the speed and the range. So, for me, the range is the biggest one of the 3, just because when you're fighting someone with a Gnasher, it seems like the range is the exact same, or maybe even longer than it is for the general body range, and it is a lot easier to just throw down a melee and try and hit that one melee than it is to try and hit a perfect Gnasher shot to blow someone away in a single shot. So that makes the range a big problem for me, and that enables people to just throw down melees a lot easier than it is to go for the body shot. So other than that, there finally is the speed. So the speed in Gears of War Judgment for melee is almost like twice as much as it was in Gears of War 3. The thing about Gears of War 3, well, the thing about all meleeing is the actual hit doesn't register until you're about halfway through the melee. So in Gears of War 3, that would be about half a second. Now it's like a quarter of a second. So almost instantly after throwing that melee, you can stun someone with it and hurt them at the same time. And it makes it so much more viable, so much more deadly, that it's just so bad, and it makes it so difficult to deal with. So going into a fight, it's just like, well, why do anything else? I can throw it faster, it has a higher range, it has a higher damage, I can two-piece with it, it's just there. So I think personally they need to drop all three of those factors to make the melee a lot more easier to deal with, because it's just like, it's a shooter, people. You come here to shoot. This isn't a fighting game. You come here to shoot someone in the face and watch their face blow clean off. So that's my general opinion on the melee. This went a lot faster than I expected, so I really want to get a few other things in, but whatever, you get my point. That's the problem with the melee. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.